Sydney, the time is 7:30. Stand by, stations 2KO Newcastle, 2GN Goulburn, and 2TM Northern New South Wales. Chapter 7 of One Man's Family, a Shadowton Under Brandy broadcast, a worldwide triumph in radio, written by Carlton E. Morse. In the club, hotel bar, or at home, the man who enjoys the finer things of life invariably prefers brandy. This is easy to understand when you realize that champagne and brandy are both products of the grape. If you like spirits, I suggest you make Shadowton Under Brandy your drink for a few days as a trial and prove for yourself the ideal drink it really is. You'll find that brandy is refreshing, invigorating, leaves a delightful palate-pleasing taste, and is satisfying. Shadowton Under Brandy, a man's drink of distinction. One Man's Family is presented by the following cast in this order of appearance: Claudia, Doreen McKay, Paul, John Dunn, Hazel, Ethel Lang, Henry, Victor Goodyear, Jack, Keith Ashdown, Cliff, Dom Harnett, Marion, Elsie Wayne, and Pinky, played by Pinky Miller. One Man's Family is dedicated to the mothers and fathers of the younger generation and to their bewildering offspring. Tonight we bring you Episode 7, Book 15, entitled Further Problems of Clifford. And here is how things are with the Barbours. Besides losing Beth Holly to a man named Philip Spencer, Paul has, in the last few weeks, met with two minor accidents, one in a training plane and the other in his car. And to add to this unpleasantness, he now discovers Beth is not at all happy with her new marriage. Claudia and Nicky are busily developing the Sky Farm, and that's about all we hear of them for the moment. Clifford was elated when his mother made the first friendly gesture to Marion Galloway by sending her flowers, and sitting on top of the world when she followed it up with an invitation to tea. But all the light went out of the world when his father called him into his office and told him no man could be a good businessman unless he had initiative. He fired him on the spot and told him to go out and develop that golden quality. In a mood of reprisal, he asked Marion to marry him, and the two of them would live their own life. But Marion talked him back into a reasonable frame of mind. And now we find the entire Barbour clan gathering at the Herbert farm for the week end.
Hello, here we are.
And welcome to the Herbert Menage.
Hello there. I wonder where Mommy is.
Family didn't come with them. Where's the lady of the house?
Oh, we left her behind. Isn't she coming? She's coming a little later with Nicky. Oh, so that's what happened. Hello, Dad.
Yes.
You see, Dad and Mum stopped in at the Sky Farm on their way down from the city. Nicky had some things to do before he could start, so Mum waited and I came on with Dad.
He was exercising a horse.
What? That's why Nicky couldn't leave right away. He was exercising one of the Arabians.
Of all the nonsense I ever heard of. Exercising a horse.
No, it isn't, Dad.
The horse couldn't possibly exercise himself, I suppose.
What do you care, Dad? If Nicky wants to exercise, the horse let him. Come on, let's go down into the trees in the front garden.
Well, I promised Jack I'd walk down to the back of the farm where he's stacking hay. Anyone want to go with me?
Oh, goodness, Paul, it's too far.
You, Dad?
No, thank you. This is good enough for me.
I'll go, Paul.
Good. Let's go. Well, we'll see you shortly.
We'll have an early dinner, Paul.
Come on, Dad. Let's hunt a comfy spot.
Did Paul say Jack was stacking hay?
Yes. Oh, it doesn't amount to much. Just a small third cutting on the back 10 acres. Bill's letting Jack handle it all by himself.
First time in his life the boy's shown any tendency to work.
Oh, Jack's all right. Just remember, Dad, he's only beginning to grow up. Here, darling, take the hammock.
No, thanks. I'll take this chair.
Oh, but the hammock's much more comfortable.
And much more treacherous. This will do nicely.
Well, if you don't want it, I do.
By all means, take it. Where are the twins?
Sleeping. From 1 to 3 is their siesta.
Almost 3 now.
Oh, yes, they'll be around presently. Isn't it a new suit, Dad?
I don't like it.
Oh, I do.
Silly little white stripe in it. More than that, I never liked this style coat.
Well, for goodness sake, then why did you get it?
Let your mother talk me into it.
Oh, but after all, she wouldn't want you to have something you didn't like.
She likes it.
Yes, I know. But you've got to wear it.
Easier to take it than to argue. My feet always hurt me standing around in a store.
Why in a store?
I don't know. But if a salesman will keep me standing around long enough, I'll buy anything he offers, just so I can go and find some place to sit down.
Dad?
Eh?
Why did you give Clifford notice?
What's that?
I said...
Yes, I heard what you said.
I'm sorry if I'm asking questions that are none of the business.
Nonsense. I fired him because of a lack of initiative.
Oh, but Dad, it seems so sudden. I mean, after all, you left him in charge of the office a year ago when you and Mum went to Europe to get Claudia.
So I did.
And he took over the office all the time you were ill.
Well,
if he was able to do that, I should think he must have been pretty good.
Your mother said the same thing.
Well, isn't it true?
Any executive in the office could have taken over the way Clifford did. He was placed in charge on those occasions simply as an emergency measure. Nothing but routine business was transacted. Matter of fact, the affairs of the office were at a complete standstill each time I returned.
Oh, I see.
It's against my practice to discuss business outside my office, as you should know after all these years. However, because the family is so concerned, I'm endeavoring to make your mother and the rest of you see that I know what I'm about.
Oh, Dad, I don't think any of us doubted that. It just seems so hard on Clifford.
The boy's getting into a rut too soon. I should have known better than to take him in with me so early. He needs a wider range of experience before he's ready to settle down. It's my own fault. I'm simply attempting to rectify the mistake.
He's coming down this afternoon, isn't he?
I believe so. He's been a very busy young man these past few days.
Oh, but not too busy to come down for the weekend, surely. Anyway, he's not working. Why should he be so busy?
That's the trouble with this country. Everybody has the same idea.
What idea?
That if a man isn't working, he couldn't possibly be busy. Why, that's the time to really get busy. Make a job out of looking for something to do. Work at it. Fight it. Treat it just as though it were a job that was paying you big returns.
You mean a man should try to fool himself?
That's just the point. He isn't fooling himself. A man who really works at hunting a job does get big dividends in the end. If he's a real go-getter at job hunting, he'll get his job. That's his pay.
I see.
And that's one place our educational system has fallen down. They teach a boy everything except how to work at finding a job. Why, finding jobs is every man's life work. If a man isn't hunting a job today, he probably will be tomorrow. It's almost inevitable. And yet not one man in 10,000 knows how to do it.
But, Dad, if there aren't
My
jobs...
dear, I firmly believe that if every man who is out of work today was to rise up with sincere enthusiasm and begin looking for something to do with every ounce of his energy, we would see such a social and economic revolution in this country as we've never known. There's nothing in the world that can resist a man who believes in himself. If the men now out of work should burst forth with all the fire, all the forceful energy, all the enthusiasm within them, they could stir this country to its very depths.
Very probably. But they never will.
Yes, that's the tragedy of today. They never will because they don't know how. They've never been taught. That's why I've put Clifford in the position he finds himself today. He's going to learn. He's going to find out how to take care of himself while he's still young.
I wonder what Miss Galloway thinks of his sudden descent to the ranks of the unemployed.
There's a young woman for you.
You've heard?
She told Clifford it was the best thing that could have happened to him.
Oh, she did.
I always did think that girl had possibilities.
I was talking to Mum on the phone yesterday, and she said she'd invited her to tea next week. Wants Claudia and me to come to town.
Yes. I thought she would come around to it. Where did Paul and Claudia say they were going?
Out to the back of the farm, where Jack's working.
Well, I hope you and Claudia will find something in common with Miss Galloway.
I think that depends a great deal on Miss Galloway. Don't you, Dad?
I don't know what's happened, but Mother's invited Miss Galloway to tea. Wants me to drive into town next Wednesday.
So at last the family's going to get a look at our Miss Galloway.
You haven't seen her either, Paul?
Not one single hair of a lovely head.
Is she lovely, do you think?
Well, in the picture Clifford carries about with him and cherishes so highly, if that's any indication, she is.
Picture? Why, the old meanie never showed me any picture.
Nor me. I just happened to see it on his stand one morning when he was dressing.
Can you imagine a brother like that? And my very own twin besides. Oh, for goodness sake, how much further have we got to go?
Just one more field. As a matter of fact, if you look closely among the stacks of hay over there, you can barely discern our younger brother.
Yes, I saw him. He seems to be leaning on something.
Yes, his pitchfork.
Jack, the energetic farmhand.
Bill was telling me that Jack talks the best job of work of any man he ever had working for him. Gets up in the morning all full of enthusiasm, going out to do a big job of hay pitching.
And it ends there.
Oh, no, he goes out. Makes the big gesture and then finds himself a shady spot for resting. Best talker and best rester the place ever supported.
Jack is a little bit inclined that way, isn't he?
Oh, the natural inclination of most boys around 16 and 17, especially those who haven't been forced to take on responsibility early. Clifford was pretty much that way at Jack's age.
Was he? I'd forgotten. Gee, Paul, what do you suppose he'll do now he's out of Dad's office?
That remains to be seen.
I haven't seen him since the blow fell, have you?
No.
Dad said he'd be down this afternoon. Do you think we ought to avoid the subject? I mean about his getting fired?
Well, he might be a little sore. Probably a good idea to follow his lead.
Mm-hmm. Do you think Dad was right, Paul?
In letting Clifford go? Well, I haven't talked with him about it. He was too happy to have Clifford in his office to let him go without good reason.
Yes, he's always been so anxious to pass the business on to someone in the family. If I remember, that used to be the big bone of contention between you and Dad.
It was.
After the war, he thought you'd step right out of the army into the office.
He seems pretty well reconciled at this late date.
You know, I think Dad's mellowing.
Oh, I don't think I'd let him hear you mention that.
No, but don't you think it's true? There isn't nearly as much bitterness in him against the things he doesn't understand or thinks contrary to his beliefs as there used to be.
That's quite true.
Is it because he's getting old, do you think?
Does he appear any older to you?
Not a bit.
Of course, the fires are burning a little lower, I suppose, but I think the real reason for the change is the fact that it's finally been brought home to him that his children are mature. That was the hard period for Dad, when we were changing from irresponsible youngsters into men and women. He couldn't realize it.
Hi, Paul! Claudia! Jack spotted us.
Shit. Look at him throw the hay around now.
Trying to work up a perspiration before we arrive.
Don't say anything about us seeing him standing around. See what he says.
Oh, that's mean.
Yeah, come on. I've got something to show you.
The hay smells good.
Yeah, well, he gets quite lonesome.
I should think it'd be fun working out here.
Come on over here. I want to show you something.
You know, Bill said you'll probably get this whole field stacked up by dinner time.
Jiminy Christmas, what does he think I am, anyway? Here, look at this. An old pheasant's nest. See all the broken shells where the little pheasants busted out?
Oh, look. There's one egg that didn't hatch.
Yeah, I'm going to take it and give it to Teddy. She's collecting them.
He did?
Guess I better get to work then. If you brought out another fork, you could sort of help a little. I'll tell you what. You wouldn't like to try this one, would you?
No, thanks. I'm doing very nicely.
That's what I thought. Phooey on work anyway.
Yeah, I thought you were the best farmhand in all the country.
Just the same, I'm going to take my vacation in the mountains next year.
But think what good condition you'll be in when you start at college.
Well, I'd like to find the guy who thought that one up.
But it's true.
I'd like to be just in good condition boxing and hiking and horseback riding. Anyway, I guess I won't go out for athletics after all.
Why not?
I just found out you've got to be in bed at 9 o'clock every night.
And the best thing in the world for you.
Oh, baloney on that.
You don't like the idea.
Invest all the money on going to college and then spend all the time sleeping. I should say not.
Hi, fella. Marion.
That's you, Clifford?
Yeah, who'd you think it was?
Well, come on through the side gate and around the back of the house.
Gosh sakes, what are you doing anyway?
What do you care?
Hey, for the love of Mike, look at you.
Nice.
Lying on your stomach out here in the backyard in nothing but a sunsuit?
Well, it's my stomach and it's my backyard.
Yeah, whose sunsuit is it?
Well, 2 more payments and it's mine. But that's a mere trifle.
I'll say it's a mere trifle. To be perfectly frank, young lady, you're practically out of sunsuit.
You don't like
I'm
it?
crazy about it. I was just thinking about the neighbors.
Oh, we haven't any. Not who can see over the fence. Come on, you lie on your stomach, too.
Oh, it's no fun if you haven't got a sunsuit.
Well, take off your shoes and socks and pretend.
Gosh, Philly, you're the first bright spot I've struck today.
Little Marion Sunshine herself. Come on, snuggle down here and tell Mother about it.
Baby, there just aren't any jobs in the world.
You've been looking?
Looking? I've been in every bank and brokerage house in Sydney. I've been to some of the places as many as 6 times before I could see the right man.
What does he say?
The same thing every time. You're wasting your time and mine.
How long have you been looking?
Well, this is the 4th day.
Yes, well, it's a little early yet to expect anything, I guess.
Early? Why, how long am I supposed to look?
Some men have been looking 3 or 4 years.
Hey, listen.
Oh, of course it isn't going to take you that long. All I meant was, don't get discouraged too soon.
Oh, I'm not... Well, not exactly discouraged. Just the same, it sure gives a fellow something to think about when they won't even let you fill out an application.
You've been to all the stock and bond houses?
Yes, and all the banks. I even tried to get a job in one of the newspapers in the financial department.
And what did they say?
Managing editors wouldn't even see me. One of them sent out word he was sorry, but the financial page was being gotten out by the dramatic critic, who was also covering the waterfront in odd moments.
I guess you wouldn't have much chance on a newspaper. I was reading there are an awful lot of newspapermen out of work.
Yeah, well, if you ask me, there's an awful lot of every type of workman out of jobs. Gosh, I'm kind of out on a limb. I don't know what to do next.
Why, just keep on looking. I guess that's all there is to do, isn't it?
Well, I look. There aren't any more financial houses, unless I get out of Sydney.
No, but there are other things.
Huh?
Well, I mean like insurance or real estate. Maybe even building and loan offices.
Oh, but Jiminy Marion, what do I know about them?
Well, you can learn.
But stocks and bonds are my line.
Yes, I know.
Gee whiz, I'd be lost in anything else.
Cliff,
Yes?
would you mind if I say something?
Of course not. Go ahead.
It doesn't seem to me a person has any line when he's out of work. Well, I mean anything's better than nothing at all.
But gosh, Marion, a fellow's got to be pretty desperate to figure that way.
I don't see why.
You mean you wouldn't mind if I went to work as a clerk in a store?
Why should I?
But Marion...
Oh, Clifford, I wouldn't care if you dug ditches.
You wouldn't?
Not that I want you to be a ditch digger all your life, but... Oh, gee, Cliff, digging ditches is a swell job until something better comes along.
I never thought I'd have to do that.
Oh, but probably you won't, but if you do, I want you to know I'll be kind of proud of you.
Gee, fella. Roll over here on my arm where I can look at you.
Like this?
Yeah. It's funny how sure I am things will turn out all right when my arm's around you.
Of course they will.
You really believe they will?
Nothing in the world could make me not believe it.
Why are you so sure?
Because I believe in you.
You do?
Do you think you'd be holding me like this if I didn't?
Gosh, it's funny, isn't it? I kind of believe in myself now. Marion?
Yes?
I'm sorry about that hotel business.
I'm not.
You aren't?
I think we learned a lot about each other that day.
Yes, I guess you found out plenty about me.
And you about me. You only knew it.
Only that you're everything I always thought you were.
Oh, darling, how stupid you are.
Yeah, but you kind of like me anyway, don't you?
I do.
And you're coming to our house for tea next Wednesday?
Isn't it lovely?
And you're going to love everybody, and everybody's going to love you. Oh, gee, Marion.
Fun.
I wouldn't believe it if I wasn't holding it right here in my arms.
Please, Mr. Ziegfeld, unhandy. Are you going to stay for dinner?
Is it that late? Gosh, I'm supposed to be down at Hazel's by dinner time.
Oh, it's 4:30. You better step on it.
Boy, oh boy, where's my hat?
You're relying on it, silly.
Well, that's just swell. Well, I gotta go. Bye.
You aren't going to kiss me?
Huh? Why, yes, sure. Swell fella. What do we stop for?
Oh, Clifford.
Gosh sakes, doesn't anybody realise I've been pitching hay all day?
Well, you want to take a shower before dinner, won't you?
Hey, I just did.
Oh, pardon me.
Oh, Jimmy Christmas, can't you tell?
Oh, he's just trying to be funny. Well, I think I've had enough lawn party. I'm going into the house.
Yeah, I think I'll go along with you too. Maybe I can swipe some bread and butter.
Not if Hazel catches you.
Here she comes now with Pinky. That'll give you a small chance. Hey, Hazel, what about dinner?
We'll wait 15 minutes longer. If Clifford isn't here by then, we'll start.
Yeah? What's that funny redhead you thing you got in your arms there?
Don't you talk that way about my Pinky.
Sure is pink, all right.
Don't you pay any attention to such talk, you beautiful Pinky.
Hungry, Paul?
Well, if not hungry, at least a bit on the appetite side. Well, young fellow, what's your name?
Pinky.
Oh, so you're Pinky. Here, where are you trying to get?
On your lap.
But don't you think you should ask people before you go around sitting on their laps?
My mummy likes it.
Oh, she does.
Well, not always.
Yes, you do, Mummy.
Oh, do I?
Well, come up. You come. There. That better?
Tell me a story.
Oh, look here now.
Pinky, don't you know little boys should be seen and not heard?
What little boy?
What little boys? All little boys.
Listen, Pink. Whose boy are you?
My mummy's and my daddy's.
Oh, you are. Why?
They give me Christmas presents.
Oh, they give you Christmas presents.
Uh-huh, on the Christmas tree.
But didn't I give you a Christmas present?
No.
I didn't.
Why, yes, he did, Pinky. Don't you remember? Paul gave you that nice train that ran on a track.
No, he didn't, Mummy.
Oh, why, yes, darling, he did.
Then what did Santa Claus give me?
What did he say?
If you gave him the train, well, what did Santa Claus give him?
Didn't you like the train, Pinky?
I'd rather have a gun.
Oh, you'd rather have a gun.
And a cowboy suit.
A gun and a cowboy suit. It looks like you're going to have a Wild West cowboy on your hands, Hazel.
Well, I don't know that that's any worse than the wild Indian he is now.
Pinky, don't make such faces.
I'm a bad Indian.
Well, you stop making faces, or there's one bad Indian who'll be sent into the house.
Yes, and Indians hate houses.
Oh, isn't that the truth? You know, I can't keep the twins in the house hardly long enough to pour their food down them.
Hello, there's Clifford.
Oh, good. I'll go and get dinner on. Come along, wild Indian. You and I are going in.
Hey, Hazel! Sorry I'm late. I came just as fast as I could.
That's all right, Cliff. Dinner in 5 minutes.
Okay, where's Paul?
Down the front garden.
Right, be right up. Hi, Paul!
I heard you.
Boy, have I got some news for you.
Good, bad, or indifferent?
Well, it's all in the way you look at it, I guess. Looky here. I bought the paper on the way out. You seen tonight's gossip column?
Well, not having seen the evening paper is not likely.
Yeah, well, listen to this. The gossips have it that the very expensive Philip Spencer and his lovely Sydney bride of a few weeks, Beth Holly, have found thorns in their bed of roses. Some news item, huh?
It, pleases you?
Huh? Hey, I didn't say that.
Well, thanks for reading it to me.
Oh, hey, for the love of my fellow.
Just what I've been waiting to hear. Fixes everything up fine.
Gosh, Paula, I didn't think you'd take it that way. After all, what's she to you?
A friend who's in trouble. That much, anyway.
Book 15, Chapter 7 of One Man's Family. The next episode is entitled Marion Comes to Tea and will be broadcast next Tuesday evening at 7:30. When you and I were going to school, we probably often got the urge to wag it because of the thrill we thought it would give us. Well, now I'm going to make a suggestion to you that will give you a thrill and prove beneficial to you, too. You know as well as I do the value of brandy as a medicinal stimulant. But do you know that Chateau Tanunda brandy is just about the best spot you can have, whether it be with a friend at the hotel bar, as a liqueur after dinner, or as a nightcap before you go to bed. So whatever may be your favorite drink at the moment, play the wag for a few days and try Chateau Tanunda brandy. I know you'll thank me for the suggestion because this brandy calms your nerves, makes you fit and vigorous, and your palate will tell you that you're drinking the pure spirit of the grape. Chateau Tanunda brandy, a man's drink of distinction. Tonight's program was presented for your entertainment by Tucker & Company Limited, distributors of Chateau Tanunda brandy, the brandy that doctors recommend. The production is under the direction of John Dunn. This was a 2SM presentation from its Sydney studios. Will all participating stations kindly resume your own program?